Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex Gillespie, Principal of the University of Toronto, Mississauga, and it's my honour to join you here on the 11th of November 2020 for Remembrance Day. 102 years after, at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, armistice was declared at the end of the First Great War, and on the 75th anniversary of the end of the Second Great War. I'm standing here in front of the Davis building on the UTM campus, but most of you are joining these commemorations virtually from home on a screen. It's the first time we at UTM have come together for Remembrance Day in this way, and it feels all the more important that we do so, that we remember 102 years after the last great global pandemic, as well as the First Great War, the history, the hardship, but also the extraordinary courage and the hope that connects us and lifts us up as a community. To begin today's ceremony, I ask you to stand for Canada's national anthem. My only personal experience of war comes through stories. I'm a literature professor. I'd like to share a story with you. Several years ago, the theatre director Brian Derries staged a version of an ancient Greek play, Sophocles' Ajax, for an audience of soldiers stationed overseas. The play, written in the 5th century BC by a general in the Athenian army, depicts the agonizing death of a heroic soldier. After the tragedy's end, with the character of Ajax still visibly impaled on a sword, Derries turned to his audience and asked, "Why do you think Sophocles wrote this play?" A young soldier replied immediately, "He wrote it to boost morale." Caught off guard, having never served in a war himself, Derries inquired incredulously, "What's morale boosting about watching a soldier's death?" "It's the truth," the young soldier replied, "and we're watching it here together." Sophocles, as the soldier recognized, hadn't tried to conceal the brutality of war. He hadn't tried to turn war into propaganda. He had only shown the truth on stage and created a way for people to experience that truth together as a community. I intend my message today in the same spirit. I want to remember the truth of war and to acknowledge the sacrifice together. We remember today together more than 650,000 Canadians who served in the Great War from 1914 to 18. We remember more than 1 million Canadians who served in World War II from 1939 to 1945. We remember more than 26,000 who served in Korea from 1950 to 53. We remember more than 40,000 Canadians who served in Afghanistan from 2001 to 14. We remember more than 110,000 Canadians killed in action. We remember Canadian soldiers who led peacekeeping missions in Cambodia and Egypt, in Cyprus and the Congo, who delivered humanitarian aid in the Balkans and Rwanda, who supported United Nations relief in Syria and Somalia. We remember the Black, Indigenous and racialised Canadians who served abroad amid discrimination at home. We remember the female Canadians who had to fight to enlist before fighting in battle. We remember the new Canadians who continue to join the armed forces to this day. Our memory is anchored, as Derry's playgoing soldier put it, by an incredible truth, that ordinary Canadians have always performed extraordinary acts, that they served and died to protect our freedom, privilege, and security, and that their sacrifice asks simply that we never forget. Now we will have the laying of the wreaths. I ask you now to join me in 2 minutes of silence to remember the fallen. Thank you so much for joining us for today's ceremony. It really is more important than ever for us to come together, to find ways to give thanks to those whose sacrifices were and are for us, and whose example reminds us that even in difficult times, and these are difficult times, there is so much for us to be thankful for. I wish you and your loved ones safe and happy.